The Nobel Prize started in 1901, a couple of years after Alfred Nobel passed away. And it consists of prizes in physics, which is what I studied, chemistry, physiology and medicine, peace and literature. And from 1968, it also includes a Nobel Prize for economic sciences. And that's the one I would like to focus on, if I may. So the Nobel Prize this year has been given to a number of researchers who've looked at how much money and how much time we should spend going to school, how much money and time we should spend on patents, how much money and time we should spend on research and development compared to simply producing things. And that's relevant. Now, you and I hopefully both run profitable businesses, and we could keep doing that from now until forever, but that's not true. It's not true because there's always a risk that something comes along that changes the game entirely. And we don't know when those changes are going to come. They may or may not come. And what these researchers have done is to create mathematical models to describe how a good environment for developing useful knowledge causes a string of unconnected new innovations that disrupt the current way of doing things. And there are a couple of things. So there are three things that are needed in order to create that environment. One is a joint evolution of science and technology so that we understand how things work. And the second thing they highlight is that we need to be able to do something about it. So we need the mechanical competence of being able to execute based on good ideas. And the third thing that these scientists point out is that society and we need to be open for change so that when these things happen, we're okay with it. Because new innovation is disruptive creativity. It destroys. It's creative destruction. So we have a way of doing things, someone comes with a new idea, so we stop doing that because someone else is doing it instead. Let me take an example. Let's assume that you and I work in the same company and we make 90 of profit each month. Great. Then you come up with an idea where we say, okay, fine, so we're going to spend 1 to make 2. Good. That makes sense. So now we're making 92 of profit and it only cost us 1 to move from 90 to 92. We come up with another idea. We spend 1, we get to 94. Spend 1, at the end of the year, we're making 100 of monthly profit and we're feeling good. And we're sitting there thinking, should we spend 1 and move from 100 to 102? But in another room, not very far from where we are, someone has come up with a way of doing what we're doing better than we are. And they're prepared to spend 50 in order to get that 102. We're prepared to spend 1 to move up the ladder to 102. They're prepared to spend 50 because they could get the full 102, whereas for us, the difference is only from 100 to 102. For that reason, these scientists have shown that new entrants are more value creating than people with existing businesses because new entrants are prepared to spend a lot more to take all the profit instead of spending a small amount in order to only get the incremental difference. So innovation drives growth in that sense. And innovation pulls in people into research and development in order to deliver those things. Innovation is fundamental to everything. Assuming that it makes sense, because if there's no threat, if no one is going to come from the outside and steal our lunch, then we don't need to innovate. This Nobel Prize is all about putting numbers behind that. How long should we go to school? How long should a patent be? Should it last for 100 years or should a patent last for 1 year? Or 23 years, the way it is right now. putting numbers on all those things is very, very difficult. And that's what these guys have done. So it's really, really well done mathematically. And this description of how new entrants can disrupt is a fundamental part of it, and a society that welcomes such disruption. Disruption can, of course, also come from within. And I think you and I, on a personal level, can learn from what Jack Welch, the former GE CEO, did. What the former GE CEO Jack Welch did was to pull together his management teams on a regular basis and work out how to kill their business. What's the best way of destroying everything we have? And then after that, implementing those changes themselves so that they themselves kill their business instead of someone else killing their business, and thereby creating a new future. And I think that's a really refreshing way of looking at it.